Hey, it's Shannon from iHeartRadio Canada, joined by Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons. Thank you so much for taking the time. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Thank you for asking. How are you feeling with everything? A break, new album on the way?
I feel good. It's been, I was already going to take these few years off, and it happened that COVID happened at the same time. I took a lot of time just being at home, being a dad, walking my dog, hanging out with my kids and writing music. Yeah.
Yeah, do you think it's going to be tough going back to like touring and living a complete opposite life again?
No, I'm looking forward to it now. I miss people. I miss human interaction. I miss singing with people and giving someone a hug and talking to a stranger without feeling like you're afraid to sneeze,
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's the dream. I just want to be able to sneeze freely on people. That's awesome. I've heard you say that you write a demo a day. How do you even begin to narrow that down after you have like 300 songs and then 100 songs? And then how does that even work?
It's difficult to have perspective at that point. And especially with this record, you have hundreds of songs and you're combing through them. But, I feel like the best ones kind of float to the surface, the ones that resonate. And it's not even like best. It's like what feels the most honest. Because I feel like honest music is what wins. It's like people have a good BS meter and they know if something feels trite or contrived, or they know if someone's saying something that's honest for them. And if they resonate with them, then that's where art, succeeds. And so at the end of the day, we just look through the songs and find the ones that speak the strongest and feel like they affect you. And that's what we've always kind of done.
Yeah. And I've heard and I've seen it through your music that a lot of the times that you've been really metaphoric in the past, but you've also talked about wanting to become more vulnerable in your songwriting. Was there a specific point where that kind of switched for you, or was that more gradual?
I think just as I got older, I just care more about honesty and truth and just don't feel like I have time for bullshit in my life. I really when I'm talking to people, it's like, I may never see you again. I've lost 5 people in my life in the last 3 years. All of them very close to me. 3 of them from cancer. My sister-in-law, my business manager of 10 years, one of my ex-girlfriends, my childhood best friend took his life. It's like I don't have time. It makes me feel like the finality of life is like right on. It's like it's on the tip of my brain at all times. So yeah, being metaphorical even in our music, for me, it was because I was afraid of someone knowing what I was saying. When I was writing Radioactive, it's not a song about radioactivity. It's a song about depression. And I hid it because I didn't want my mom to listen to that. At that point, I didn't know anybody was going to care about Imagine Dragons. I knew my mom was going to hear that song, and I didn't want her to worry about me. So what did I do? Well, I dressed it up with metaphors. And I love that song. I'm still excited to play it. It did a lot for us, but it's not where I am now as a writer. Like, I'm not looking to be that metaphoric. A lot of my favorite writers like Cat Stevens and stuff were really on the nose. And I think that's more impactful.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that people might be able to relate more in that way as well, right?
I hope so. I think so. And Rick Rubin, our producer on the record, really pushed that point on me. He would hear a demo and say, I like this, but I don't believe you. And I was like, what do you mean you don't believe me? He was like, I don't know. I don't believe you when you were telling me this. When you're singing that part, I don't believe it. So that was something that he just was really honest and pushed me in uncomfortable places. And it was really good for me.
Yeah. Did he push you with Cutthroat? Because that just seems like so insane. Yeah. It just has so much depth to it, I think. Yeah, it's crazy.
Rick was very, very hands-on on that song. And I wrote it in it's a very angry song, but it's angry at myself. It's not angry at anyone else. And it was written in a really manic period for me. And Rick was like, you go 75% there, but I want you to go all the way there. And so we took the song apart and rebuilt it. And we wanted it to feel like bugs crawling on your skin when you hear it, like the anxiety that it should be inducing. That divisiveness, I think, is really important in music. We try to go there sometimes, but for better or for worse in the past. But on this record, there's definitely moments of that where someone's going to hear a song and say, I want them to hear it and say, I hate that or I love it. I don't want middle ground. I don't want, for me, the last place I want to be is someone listen to Cutthroat and be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And it's kind of hard to listen to that song and not have a feeling. And that, look, I had a real feeling in me when I wrote that song. So hopefully it resonates. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you can definitely hear that in that as well. I've also heard you explain it as an exorcism of self-loathing. That's how you've
Yeah.
described it. Did that end up working? Has it been that way?
Yeah, I think, and again, that just goes back to the finality of life and like
Mhm.
losing so many people close to me. It just, I don't have, like, I am incredibly blessed. I am healthy. I have beautiful kids. I am doing what I do every day and I love. I'm trying to just rid myself of anything other than being in the moment. Like, stop regretting the past, stop worrying about things that are out of my hands, stop, um, bathing in self-pity. Like it's that song is about, it's being angry at myself, and wanting to kill that part of me and embracing kind of gratitude
Yeah.
and joy for the moment.
So going off of that vulnerability, did it make it easier for you then to talk about things like the relationship with your wife in the song Follow You? Was that just an easy thing to be able to share and talk about and sing about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm at a place in life right now where I'm just really, I just want to be honest about everything, and I think the people that I am close to are the same. Like my closest friends are the type of people that you would meet on the street, and they'd probably ask you in the first few sentences what you believe, because there's just not time for bullshit anymore. And at least they're the kind of people that are like that. And I really, when I met my wife, I think the first thing I said to her, I saw her on stage performing and I was like, wow, this is incredible. And I walked up to her and I was like, hey, what do you believe? I'm pretty sure that's what I said to her. And it wasn't religious or anything like that. I'm not a religious person. It really is just, I want to understand like the grit of life. I could be gone tomorrow, and yeah, I want to know people. I'm a very curious person.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I love those types of people as well. I find myself being that person at like parties where I'll like grab someone into a corner and I'm like, let's have like a deep heart to heart and like really
Yes.
know each other. Because I think it's like that depth that really does it. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, totally. You mentioned your kids. Do your kids have their own favorite Imagine Dragons songs?
Yeah, my kids love Imagine Dragons. I don't know why. I don't know that I've been asked this question by a lot of people where they're like, yeah, my kids really like the band. Like, I don't know what the secret is. I don't know. Maybe part of me wonders if I was raised on, I'm a classical pianist. So my first instrument was piano. I played piano for 10 years, learned all of Beethoven, Chopin, like all just the classics kind of things. So I'm pretty sure melodically, without like subconsciously, when I write melodies, they're classically inclined. So for even Follow You, like, I'll follow you way down wherever you may go. Follow you way down to your deepest love. I would be around. Like something about that interval is classical. And I don't do it on purpose. It just comes out of me when I'm writing melodies. And I think kids, it's like kids like classic melodies. They like those intervals. They like to hear a third that's jumping and a melody that's repeating in thirds. So yeah, my kids love Imagine Dragons. I put it on all the time. I love my music. So I put it on and the kids like it. Like I have no shame. I'm not like the guy who's like, don't put my song on. I'm like, yeah, put it on. I love it. Yeah, I love this song. I wrote it because I love it,
I'm glad that they like it. That'd be a little awkward if they didn't, I think.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe they'll get older and they'll be like, I need something obscure. This is too mainstream for me. But as of right now, they still like it. So yeah.
Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense. Like I have a lot of young nieces and like as they were even learning to talk, they would like ask Alexa to throw in thunder. So they like it just shows.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. There's no secret to it. I don't try to do it. I'm not like researching Baby Einstein or something. Like kids just like the melodies. I don't know. I really don't know why. I don't have a good answer for it. That was my best attempt at the classical thing, but I don't know.
Yeah. Before I let you go, I really want to talk about the fact I watched your documentary Believer, and I've been wanting to talk to you since it came out because very much how you would talk about the Mormon community. I grew up in a very strict Christian community, and it's very much similar. And I happen to be a lesbian, so that whole thing just like hit home for me so much. So I don't even know if it's really a question, but thank you for being such an ally for the LGBTQ plus community.
Oh, well, honestly, nothing like makes me happier than hearing things like that because, and it really, I feel like, especially people who are raised in very Orthodox religious communities, there's like a kinship and an understanding of how culturally impactful that is. And especially on our LGBTQ youth, to have them being told on a daily basis that their innate sense to love, which is the most God, like whether you believe in God or not, if you believe in God, like that is what God is, right? It's love. And then you're telling these kids not to love like that. It's so broken and hurtful. And so, yeah, I'm definitely on a mission to help our youth know that they deserve to be celebrated, not just accepted, but celebrated for their sexuality. So,
Totally. How did it feel to give away your childhood home to help LGBTQ plus you?
I mean, it's like a miracle. Nothing makes me happier. That home was a home of love. My parents always were bringing in our friends who would get kicked out of the house, but stay at that house. So it has always been a safe house. So to know now that these kids will have a safe home, and it happens to be my childhood home, and I can swing by and hang out, and there's going to be performers, there's going to be speakers, there's therapy for these kids and their families, especially religious kids who have parents that need to understand what to do when your child comes out to you and how to celebrate them, and how important that is. So that's what the house is going to be providing in Las Vegas, which is my hometown. So it's cool.
Amazing. Dan, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Hey, this is Dan from Imagine Dragons. Listen to our new song, Follow You, on iHeart New Music.